Hi, my name is Crystal Eddington. The article I chose was Teaching Social Skills to Children with Autism Using the Cool versus Not Cool Procedure by Justin Leaf and Kathleen Suchi. Background. Children with autism often have difficulty learning social behaviors. Research has proven that a lot of different social skills training works to teach children with autism. Some of them include video modeling, teaching interaction procedures, discrete trial teaching, social stories, and behavioral training. And all of these can help improve their social behavior and just their overall quality of life. One of the common component in all of these is that the teacher is often demonstrating just the appropriate behavior for the learner and then has the child jump in and practice those things. For example, in video modeling, the child watches a videotape of their self, of a peer or a teacher demonstrating an appropriate behavior, and then they go in and practice that behavior. So it goes, they watch it doing it the right way, and then they go in and practice it. The cool versus not cool procedure is a little bit different. This procedure requires discrimination. It requires the child to tell you the difference. If they watch a short video clip or they watch an in vivo live action and they tell you if what happened was cool or if it was not cool. So the teacher will demonstrate either a socially appropriate behavior, or a not cool, an inappropriate behavior, like yelling out to gain a teacher's attention, and then asks the child if it was cool or not cool, and the child needs to tell you, and that gives you some valuable information. After the teacher is done demonstrating the skill, the learner typically has the opportunity to role play the skill appropriately, followed by the teacher providing feedback for correctly role playing the targeted social behavior. The cool versus not cool procedure is different from previous research in that all demonstrations are done in vivo, which is in action right in front of them. And it's only the discrimination and doesn't require the child to correctly model it right after. The purpose of this study was to conduct the first empirical evaluation of this procedure to see if it really worked with children with autism. And number two, to evaluate if children can learn a variety of social skills using the cool versus not cool procedure. So if it's not just one type of social skill, but if it can be applied to a variety of different kinds. And if they can't learn from just the cool versus not cool procedure, if they tack on the role play at the end, will the child be able to learn? So this study had 3 participants: Dante, a 9-year-old, Marc, an 8-year-old, and Donald, a 4-year-old, with all different levels of IQs and social skill rating scores. They all received different levels of behavioral intervention per week, and they were all in a general education classroom. So here it shows the different participants and the skills that were taught and the operational definitions for those skills. So for example, Dante was practicing interrupting, changing the game, like with peers if they got bored, appropriate greetings. Marc was practicing not interrupting, joint attention, changing the conversation. And Donald, the youngest one, was working on abduction prevention. So he would say no when strangers would ask to go with him, that kind of thing. So it's really keeping the child safe from strangers. And then eye contact, increasing his eye contact. The researchers measured the success of the social skills during naturalistic probes. So the researcher simply engaged in a behavior that would set the occasion for the participant to display one of the targeted social skills. The researcher did not prime, prompt, reinforce, or provide consequences. So, for example, they would set up an opportunity for Donald, for example, the youngest one, to see a stranger and like the stranger would say, "Hey, do you want to go with me?" And the child would say no. That would be success. If the child said no, if the child went with a stranger, that would be a minus, and that would not be successful. And then Another example would be changing the game when someone gets bored. Yeah. Experimental design and general procedure. To evaluate the effectiveness of the cool versus not cool procedure, the researchers implemented a multiple baseline design across social skills and replicated it across participants. The research consisted of 4 distinct phases: an initial baseline, intervention, maintenance, and booster sessions. Across the 3 participants, 8 social skills were taught. A mastery criterion was reached for 50% of the skills using just the cool versus not cool procedure, and an additional 37.5% of the social skills were reached mastery when they tacked on the role play at the end of the cool versus not cool. Only 1 social skill for 1 participant did not reach mastery. So for Dante, you can see he did interrupting, changing the game, and appropriate greetings. You see the dots at the bottom at the beginning of his graphs show that he had very limited ability to successfully demonstrate these skills, and by the end it showed an increase and he reached mastery on all 3 of those. Here's Marc's for interrupting, joint attention, and changing the conversation. And here's Donald's for abduction avoidance and eye contact. Findings. Results in this study indicate that participants were able to reach mastery criterion on 4 of the 8 social skills with a cool versus not cool procedure alone. So they didn't need the role play for 4 of the 8 social skills. For the remaining 4, or for the remaining 3, the role play was required in order for the child to reach mastery. Implications. Results of this study indicate that the cool versus not cool procedure could be an effective procedure for teaching social skills to children with ASD. The 3 social skills that did not receive mastery using just the cool versus not cool procedure, such as interrupting, abduction, prevention, and changing the game, show that there's multiple steps involved, and so role play is more beneficial for those skills. With those skills that require those multiple step competencies, the role play is important so that they can practice the right way. Limitations of the study. It's for some of the participants, it took a really long time for them to reach mastery, and it took 3 to 24 probes, so it's a wide range. Another limitation, it was only consisted of 3 participants, and 1 participant did not even reach criterion on mastery criterion on one of his skills. So there are definitely some limitations to this, but despite those limitations, the researchers wanted to show that the cool versus not cool procedure is nice compared to a lot of the other procedures because it requires little to no materials. It's flexible. You can change it and cater it to each individual child, and it can be applied to a lot of different types of social skills. Future research. It's important to continue to research the effectiveness of this procedure with different children with ASD. It's important to practice this in different settings, perhaps at a school or in homes. The use of combined demonstration of role play procedures, and to see if this could work. Future research needs to see how effective, efficient, and preferred this procedure is compared to other social skills interventions. That's it. Thank you.